What's up, guys? Welcome to the Player Hustle. We have Masaa here. He's the Lucio that you can never kill. He's the Lucio that will always boop you in goats. He's the Lucio that will always peel for his teammates in double shield right now. What will you do in the next meta?
Ooh, That's a good question. I'll probably be on BAP duty, or maybe even meta, because we haven't scrimed yet with Atlanta, so I really can't say anything for the meta.
Mm,
And the pro packs we played in EU, they were like people played like die for fun.
yeah. So how did you get to the point where you are right now? What got you into Overwatch, so to say?
Um, I got into Overwatch by accident, I'd say. I didn't even really like when Overwatch launched. I actually hated the game. I refused to even buy it because I thought it was like a silly anime game or something. Because I used to play like games like Arma,
Mm,
CS, stuff like that. But when I went to college, yeah, the people there, almost every single one of the guys that was in my class was playing like Overwatch. I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I have to buy the game so I can play with them and like get to know these guys actually. So
mm.
that's how it began. And then I just like joined a team and hop from team to team until I hit Giganti, and from Giganti I got into OWL.
Mm. So it was basically a hidden love for competition, or
Yeah, I'd say that because well, we used to go like a small lands that we have like in our village, as you would say.
mm,
We like to go to those, but like I live in the middle of nowhere, so going to like actual competition, like actual lands, would be like really hard. So we always like competed in small tournaments online in CS and games like that. But
mm,
like when I got into Overwatch, we had an actual team that paid for our trips and stuff like that. So it just like ignited the fire for competing.
mm, mm. Did you end up finishing school for before going for esports, or how?
No, no, no. I went for like it's a 3.5 year education, and I went for like 1.5 years. So I had to like when I joined Giganti, I had to like drastically drop my school attendance, and
Mm,
like at some point, I'm like, no way I can do both because we had like scrims from like 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. at the worst in
damn.
Giganti when we were like really close to a game. We were doing like insane routines. So there's like no way you could do school with that too.
Mm. Now, I feel like right now in Overwatch League, you have nowhere as long scrim days. How did you feel the differences? Because I know for a fact, like people who learn by trial and error, like they are hands-on learners, so to say. They learn by doing. They
Yeah,
learn really well by long scrim days. What about you?
it's it's really personal. Like some people can do long days, some people can't. For me, it's because like I've been raised into like thinking like okay, 3 blocks a day plus like 2 hour WODs is the norm. So like if we did with a lot of like shorter days in Atlanta. At the beginning, I felt so fucking bad because like we were doing such short days with like 2 blocks and maybe like a half an hour WODs. I'm like we're gonna be so bad because we didn't practice that much.
Mm,
But at the same time, you gotta think like okay, we gotta do this the whole year all day round. We have to be like on our A game every game day. So in the long term, it makes sense, and I've gotten a little bit used to it that we do shorter days. But like I can see it if you're trying to make it from like let's say tier 3 to tier 2 or like tier 2 to tier 1, then you gotta put in the hours, and I can see that you wanna like push out every single like waking minute you have to make it to the next level. But like when you make it to tier 1, the thing you wanna keep in mind is like longevity. That you wanna keep your players like in a mentally good place, that they aren't burning out to the game. They have something else in their lives too, that you can keep them in the league for longer.
mm. What's that other thing in your life keeping you from going insane, so to say?
Well, it's like as general like friends, other games, just like being able to do my own things too. Like
Mm,
I can go to the gym, go fishing, like when I'm on vacation, stuff like that. As long as you have your own time that you can like tell yourself what you want to do. There isn't like someone screaming at you like, "Oh, we gotta scream, bro." But you
yeah,
have
yeah.
like just some you time that you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah, I completely get you, man. I feel like a lot of players fall into this trap that because it might go bad sometimes. I know in Fuel we had it a couple of times where because we had bad results, it felt like we had to scream even more, and then you get even worse results. Did you
Yeah.
ever get into that with maybe not Atlanta, but some other team? Like you sort of enter this downward spiral and almost work yourself too much.
Yeah, I feel like, especially like Shanghai and teams like that. What I've heard, I'm not sure if this is like 100% true, but they were doing like insane scrim hours at like season 1
Mm,
during the end, and they were like, I'm 100% sure like all of their players were like so done, because imagine like practicing so much, spending so much time, and you're still getting like rolled because no team wanted to lose to you. They were like insanely practicing against you too, because
mm,
nobody wanted to be the team that loses to the Shanghai, you know. But like personally, mm, I think after we placed like fourth or third in contender season 2. After that, we had like a really bad spot that everyone was just like, "Oh my god, are we gonna make it to the league?" Like everyone was grinding ranked and playing like insane amount of hours because like there weren't scrims, so everyone just like putting 10 hours a day of ranked just to like try to get your name out there and make it to the league, so you wouldn't have to be like in contenders next year.
mm.
But
Speaking
in
of
Atlanta,
yeah,
we had like really good schedule that even if we lost, it felt bad, sure, but we weren't like driving ourselves to the brink of suicidal or something like
mhm,
that. But we had like we talked as a team what we need to do, what can like everyone do personally, like what's more WODs on their
mm,
own time and stuff like that.
yeah. Speaking of the getting your name out there part, how did you think anything about the Masaa brand when you got the name, when you built like yourself as a player? Did you have anything intentional planned, or did it just develop as it did, or yeah, how did it go?
It like went on its own way. I actually wasn't like named Masa in the beginning. I was called Tappo Masa 666, which is kind of edgy, like tiny bit edgy. But like when I joined Giganti, the CEO board of Giganti who was making the team, they said like, yeah, you need to have a little less of a school shooter name. That we
Yeah.
don't, we don't want that in our like representing our brand. I'm like, okay, I got the Tappo and 666 part out of it because it translated like Killer Masa 666.
Oh,
So I
okay.
had to cut the kill and 666 part out of it so I could get into the team.
Okay. Then after that, did you do anything with your stream, for example, to sort of build a personality, like a tone that you want in your content? For example, I know asking that I did an interview with
Yeah.
or episode of this, he wants this like star player attitude, and then you have Cloudy who wants this really solid player attitude, like very 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 solid foundations and everything. Do you have anything in mind for yourself?
I think I'm on the same level with Cloud. I just want to be like a solid performer who get the team you can trust. I don't need to be a star player. As long as I'm doing my job well, I'm fine with that.
Mm,
And I want to just be there for the team. That I'm not a liability. That would be the worst part. If like I was a liability, I don't like. You could be a star player, but you could be like hit or miss. That some game you carry the game solo, some game you don't do that much. I just want to be a, like solid straight line that like you can count on doing his job.
mm. It's
But
it.
like brand
Oh yeah, go
stream
on.
wise, I've been just like I've been streaming for fun. Like it's much more fun to stream and play ranked if you have like someone to talk to. Like you interact with your chat and stuff like that, so it makes it more enjoyable and interactive.
Mm, mm, mm. So you have not gone the route to make like any side gig of your stream, so to say, like other streamers. I know, for example, Baby Bay, Jake Rockers, they have this Atio brand thingy that they do with
Yeah.
Malik and Monty. Do you have any plans on that kind of stuff as well, or
Well,
mostly your player career?
yeah, I feel like I don't have the face and like personality for it because you need to be like a really outgoing person and have like a certain kind of like chat energy in you
Mm, mm,
radiating outside that you can get like sponsorship like that.
mm.
And I've been just like I play video games, I get paid for it. If someone offers me like a sponsorship, sure, I could do it if I'm like actually can. It's not like, hey guys, have you heard about Raid Shadow Legend by the way? But it would be like something that I could actually use and like actually like vouch for. I could see myself doing that, but otherwise, I don't know. I feel like it would be so awkward for me otherwise, and feel like so pretentious.
Mm, mm.
So
No, yeah,
50-50.
yeah, I know what you mean. It's how to say it, the tone that you mentioned. You want to be like the most solid player you can be. It's very
Yeah,
visible in game when you play because you have solid foundations. Like you're probably the best. You're the best Lucio up there with Muff, so to say, in the West.
Yeah, the funny Astros there too. He's kind of clean with it.
Oh yeah, Funny Astro as well.
Yeah.
Did you have much competition with Funny Astro in the team, so to say, for playing?
Not for like playing. Funny Astro got kinda. I think there would have been, but Funny Astro had that thing where he was boosting before the league. So the league, I think he got banned for like 5 games or something like that. So he couldn't get into the league the same time as me. But like back when we were playing in EU, we always had this kind of rivalry going on, and he was like, I'd still have to say he's the best mechanical Lucio. Like he has the insane mechanics on Lucio. He's probably one of the best there.
Mm.
And we had like insane competition every time we would play against each other, and just good times. And I'm really happy that he got a starter spot like this year in the league.
Do you have any rivalry with any Korean players in the same way, so to say?
No, but I really hate playing against IDK. He's so he's so slippery with the Lucy. I hate playing against him so much because every time I boop him to like our backline or something, like he goes for a boop, I boop him back into our backline. Oh, kill the fucking Lucio, please! Someone kill him. He's in our backline, please.
Uh, do you ever go for those plays yourself, or like do you want to go for more aggressive plays yourself?
It depends. You have to have a like really good read on the enemy team, because if you're just like 24/7 aggro Lucio, you're gonna get countered at some point, or people will learn how you play. So I usually like try to read the situation. For example, like teams that I know that won't like look at the Lucio that much, I'll play like 100 times more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
But really good teams that have like, I remember playing against, for example, let's say we played against Paris, where I could pretty much like either there was 2 plays I could make against Paris, either like just cuck Cruz that he couldn't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
or just go aggro myself if I know Cruz wasn't like going aggro. So that was one thing. But when I played against Shock, I every time I jumped above the shield, there was like Zarya beam on me when we were
Mm-hmm.
playing goats. Like Sinatra was so good at like locking down players who peeked behind the shield, so I
Yep.
had to play really safe against them.
Yep. For anyone who's wondering, that's back when it's stage 1 or stage 2, I think.
Yeah,
Where it was the Paris game was the exact same game and same map where maps when you went for the how to say Reddit grab with the friend.
yeah.
Yeah. When you've been comparing how to say coaching in Overwatch League with other teams as well, that adapting mentality that you mentioned, like you have to read the situation and then adapt it. Is that something that you got coached or more naturally came out from you?
I think it's something you need to learn for themselves. At least no coach like has actually like told me that. They maybe like hinted something like, okay, maybe against these players you could play differently. But it's something you just need to learn how to do, especially like in the league, because you know the teams you're gonna play against. You can like get a read on their game pretty. You can watch VODs of them. You know exactly who you're gonna play against. So in like tier 2, tier 3, it's not as big of an option. But you
Mm,
can still like try to practice it like mid game. That okay, you're like one map down. What are they doing? What are their set plays? How could I be countering that?
mm,
So, but yeah, the important part is like the mid game adjustments you need to make. Like, okay, they're actually focusing me a lot. I need to play safe. Or like, okay, they're running over my Rein. I need to protect him like with all my life.
mm,
Stuff like that.
mm. And then, if you would go back in time now, and you would be basically your younger self, what kind of advice wish do you wish you had before, like when you started?
Mm, that's a good one. Probably just keep at it. And I don't actually know. That's a good one. I don't think I have anything in mind. Oh, actually, yeah.
Mm.
Start practicing Lucia earlier. I
Ah,
had a
yeah,
really bad. Oh, I had a kind of an ego problem when I got like. When I got signed into Giganti, I was a flex player before that,
yeah. Hmm.
and I got signed as a main support. I still refused to play Lucio in rank for like a week. I could have used this week as practicing, because like when we started actually screaming, my Lucio was absolutely goddamn awful. So I could be using that time to practice it in ranked.
How come you got signed as a main support if your Lucia was super bad, so to say?
I don't actually know. Like, I think Seta just had like a list of players who thought had like a potential for it, had good
Mm.
comms, and like were coachable. Because I think every Giganti main support so far hasn't been like a Lucio main. They were all like DPS or flex players.
Yeah.
So I think he just like has a list of players he knows are coachable and have good mentality for it.
Mm. I've heard about the Zeta spreadsheet, but I don't know.
The legends.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So is um is there any, how to say, any plans that you have in the future for yourself when you don't want to compete as much anymore? Like, how do you plan to do you plan to keep staying in the esports, so to say? Maybe not Overwatch, or we don't have to plan outside of Overwatch or anything, but
Yeah.
just the esports after the play career. Do you have any plans for that?
The thing is with esports is like you have to have so much connections and you need to know people and it's kind of volatile the whole industry. So I have at least a backup plan. Like when I'm done with Overwatch, either I'm gonna move to coaching or like whatever if I have the like what it takes to be an actual coach or like analyst or whatever. But if like that doesn't work out, I can always go back to school. I have like the safety net of school. I can always go back there if like I drop out.
Hmm.
So I've been just using that and going like 1 year at a time. I don't want to stress about it too much. I play as long as they look at me like, okay,
Hmm.
he's a pretty decent gamer. We can keep him in. But
Hmm.
soon as that doesn't happen, I'll probably just go back to school.
Hmm. Yeah. What would you recommend for example, for players who drop out of Overwatch League and want to get back in, but the tier two scene is kind of weak, it's kind of dry?
Yeah.
What do you recommend?
Oh, that's a rough one. I just like overall always have like a safety net that you can fall back on because if you have a safety net, you can go much harder. You don't have to stress anything about that much because let's say you don't have any safety net and you're a tier 2 at the moment and you want to make it like to tier 1. You have so I can imagine the amount of stress if you lose one tournament. You lose one contenders, your whole year is almost like gone. And there's amount of stress because you don't have anything to like go back to if it doesn't work out must be like insane. So
Hmm.
I just like get something else that you can mitigate your stress to that you don't have to like worry about your future so much so you can put much more heart into your gameplay and you can like just focus so much more better.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, that's a great answer. So before wrapping it up, do you have any, how to say, last comments that you, or maybe a last topic you want to bring up, maybe yourself about, for example, your career, yourself, just players in general, or the league itself?
Mm, how do you mean?
Or do you, for example, do you have any anything that's been like on your mind lately? For example, players retiring. Could the league change any better? Uh, let's talk about that. For example, do you think the format, or how to say, for the general how to say esports scene in Overwatch could become better to prevent how to say the retirement so early?
Yeah, the thing is like, sure, it's like really gruesome to play the whole year compared to like, let's say if you're a Dota player, you have a couple of huge tournaments here and there, then you
Mm,
have smaller tournaments, but at the same time, this is the first kind of is it franchise leagues that you sell spots like an American football or stuff like that.
mm,
So there's always gonna be that um experiments from the league side too because I'm pretty sure like they don't even know what they're doing like 20% of the time they're just winging it.
mm,
So you have to be like a really mentally stable and flexible player. Like, okay, I need to like come back 10 days earlier from my vacation or something like that. You just need to have like your plans open and have like a really flexible mindset, I'd say.
mm, mm.
And
Yeah.
especially with the flying things, it's gonna be. I don't know how they're gonna manage that. It's gonna be pretty rough on the players and the league. That is, everyone is gonna have to travel. There's gonna be like technical difficulties.
Mm,
Someone's probably gonna get holed up at a like passport control somewhere, and it's gonna be
mm,
interesting. But it's a really good like feedback to the league. They're probably gonna learn a lot from it, and probably some other like esports titles
mm.
can get like a lot of valuable data from it.
Do you? Yeah, I had one last thing that just came to think about. Do you think tier contenders will have a higher play because of the traveling in Overwatch League, or will it have the same level of play?
I'd say like the Overwatch League will drop in. There's gonna be a lot of new talented players, sure, but the amount of practice is gonna drop a lot, I'd say, because if you travel, like let's say you fly from like NA to China or EU to China, you're gonna be jet lagged the whole day.
Hmm.
You lose like 1 or 2 days of good practice, or you can practice it. You're gonna be brain dead the whole like scrim blocks,
Mm,
but it's gonna drop. But like overall, like good contenders teams have been like at least low tier OWL teams. Because I could say like Atlanta Academy, they would have been really good. Fusion Uni, they would have been like fine in the league. British Hurricane in like season 1 would have been good. So it's like you just need to find the right players who to mix with and make the team synergy work. The players have been always talented and could like hold their own in the league, but you just have to like get the right players to like right positions.
Yeah. Do you have any social media you want to plug before wrapping?
Follow me on Twitch, Instagram, no, just Twitch and Twitter. Masaa_OW on both.
Where do you should people drop you tier 2, tier 3, or just prime subs?
All of them are welcome.
Oh yeah, yeah.